What if I told you that a shocking leaked audio has exposed a heated exchange between Chris Marek and Matt Roloff, where Chris allegedly catches Matt lying straight to his face about the farm deal? Fans of Little People, Big World have been following the farm drama for years, but this new twist changes everything. The Roloff Farms saga has divided the family, broken trust, and sparked countless arguments, and now, Chris is stepping right into the middle of it all. For nearly 2 decades, the Roloff farm has been at the center of family unity, and now, at the center of bitter division. Matt Roloff's decision not to sell the farm to his sons, Zach and Jeremy, left fans stunned and the family fractured. What was once seen as a legacy to be passed down to the next generation quickly turned into a heartbreaking controversy filled with strained relationships, hurt feelings, and public fallout. And while the drama has mostly involved Matt, his children, and even Amy, there's one person who has tried to stay neutral through it all: Chris Marek. As Amy's husband, Chris has often been the calm voice of reason, the steady presence who avoids being dragged into the Roloff family disputes. But according to this new leaked audio, that neutrality may have finally ended. Reports suggest the recording captures Chris directly confronting Matt Roloff over inconsistencies in his farm deal story. Chris, who is usually diplomatic, allegedly calls Matt out for what he sees as dishonesty, and Matt's reaction, according to those who've heard the audio, is nothing short of explosive. In today's breakdown, we're diving deep into what this recording supposedly reveals, the impact it could have on Matt's already tense family relationships, and what this means for the future of the Roloff farm. Stick with us, because this isn't just another chapter in the farm saga. This could be the turning point that changes everything. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. The Roloff family farm has always been more than just a piece of land. It's been the heart and soul of Little People, Big World. For nearly 2 decades, viewers have tuned in to see the Roloffs live, love, and struggle on those iconic 109 acres in Hillsboro, Oregon. From pumpkin season events that drew thousands of fans, to family milestones like weddings, birthdays, and new babies, the farm symbolized both tradition and unity. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming long before the for sale sign ever went up. Matt Roloff, the patriarch of the family, often spoke about his vision for the farm's future. Over the years, he repeatedly emphasized that he wanted to keep the property in the family. He even described it as a legacy, something to pass down to his children, Jeremy, Zach, Molly, and Jacob. Fans remember countless interviews where Matt confidently declared that one day, his kids would take over the operations and keep the dream alive. Those words gave hope that the Roloff name would always be tied to the land. But when Matt suddenly announced in 2022 that part of the farm was going up for sale, fans were stunned. Instead of honoring his earlier promises, Matt revealed that negotiations with his children, particularly Zach and Jeremy, had broken down. Rather than handing the property over to his sons at a family price, he placed it on the open market at a staggering asking price of around $4 million. For many fans, this felt like a betrayal, and for his sons, it was deeply personal. Jeremy Roloff had long expressed interest in buying the farm and carrying on the family tradition with his wife, Audrey, and their children. He even made offers to Matt, hoping to secure a portion of the property. Zach, too, had shared dreams of raising his kids, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah, on the farm where he grew up. Both sons were met with rejection. Negotiations reportedly became tense, and eventually both Jeremy and Zach walked away, disheartened and upset. This fracture hit the family hard. Viewers noticed the tension immediately in episodes that followed. Zach accused Matt of not being straightforward during their talks, and Jeremy pulled back even further from the show. What had once been a united front now looked fractured, with bitterness replacing the closeness fans had admired for years. Meanwhile, Matt continued to tell his side of the story in interviews and on social media. He painted the decision as purely business, suggesting that his children weren't ready or financially capable of taking on the farm. But fans weren't buying it. Many remembered his years of promising the farm would stay in the family. The sudden shift to a market sale left a lot of unanswered questions. Why didn't Matt give his sons a fair chance? Did he inflate the price to make it impossible for them to compete? Or was there something more personal at play? Old grudges, unresolved conflicts, or perhaps even a desire to maintain control for himself? The contradictions in Matt's public statements only fueled suspicion. Fans began calling him out online, accusing him of rewriting history and misrepresenting the truth. They pointed out how Matt's own words from past seasons didn't align with his actions in the present. This inconsistency became the foundation for a growing belief among viewers that Matt wasn't being fully transparent. And it wasn't just about money. It was about trust, family bonds, and the legacy of the farm. To Zach and Jeremy, it wasn't just a real estate deal. It was their childhood home, their heritage, and their children's future. Losing out on the farm felt like losing a piece of themselves. By the time the property officially hit the open market, fans were already convinced that something didn't add up. Matt's carefully crafted public image was starting to crack, and whispers about hidden motives were growing louder. It set the stage for the shocking moment when Chris Marek, Amy Roloff's husband, allegedly confronted Matt directly, and that leaked audio would change everything. The leaked audio begins with what seems like a straightforward, almost casual conversation. But as the minutes roll on, it becomes clear that Chris Marek isn't just making small talk. He's pressing Matt Roloff on some very specific inconsistencies surrounding the Roloff Farms deal. For longtime fans of Little People, Big World, this moment is shocking because Chris has built a reputation as a steady, supportive presence. Rarely has he been shown pushing back against Matt. Yet here, in this recording, we hear him calmly but firmly questioning Matt's version of events. According to reports, Chris starts by pointing out how Matt's public statements about wanting to keep the farm and the family don't quite match the choices he ultimately made. Chris allegedly asks Matt why he told the kids, Zach, Jeremy, and even Molly, that he hoped one of them would carry on the Roloff legacy, yet turned around and listed the property on the open market. Chris's tone isn't angry, but it is deliberate. He gives Matt space to respond, but also makes it clear that these aren't just casual questions. They're direct challenges to the narrative Matt has been pushing for years. In the exchange, Matt reportedly tries to explain himself by pointing to financial pressures and the practical difficulties of handing over the farm to his children. He argues that the numbers didn't add up, that their offers weren't realistic, and that he had no choice but to put the land on the market. But Chris doesn't let that stand without pushback. He allegedly presses further, noting that Matt's reasoning doesn't quite align with what he's been telling both the family and the public. One striking moment in the audio comes when Chris calmly states that what Matt has been saying doesn't add up. For a man who usually avoids stepping into the Roloff family's ongoing disputes, this blunt statement is unusual. Chris has often been painted as the peacekeeper, the one who smooths over conflicts rather than stirs them up. Yet here, he appears unwilling to let Matt's explanation slide, highlighting the discrepancies in a way that fans never expected. Matt, for his part, reportedly shifts strategies throughout the conversation. At times, he deflects, changing the subject to the challenges of running the farm as a business or the stress he's been under. Other times, he becomes defensive, insisting that he's been transparent all along and that people simply don't understand the full picture. And at certain points, he allegedly redirects entirely, bringing up unrelated issues in what seems like an attempt to steer the conversation away from the farm deal itself. The back and forth feels less like a friendly chat and more like a low-stakes interrogation, with Chris refusing to back down. His approach is calm, steady, and measured, qualities that actually make the confrontation more powerful. Instead of yelling or accusing, Chris relies on facts, timelines, and Matt's own words. This methodical style leaves Matt with fewer places to hide, and it highlights just how serious the inconsistencies may be. For fans who have followed the farm saga for years, this leaked audio offers a rare glimpse behind the curtain. It suggests that even those closest to Matt, like Chris, who married into the family, aren't fully convinced by his explanations. And it raises an even bigger question. If Chris is willing to call him out, how many others in the family are quietly harboring the same doubts? As the leaked audio made its way across social media, the reaction from fans was immediate and deeply divided. On one side, Many praised Chris for his courage in confronting Matt directly. These fans argued that Chris, who has usually been seen as calm and diplomatic, finally said what others in the Roloff family have been too afraid to say aloud. Posts flooded in, with comments like, "Finally, someone's holding Matt accountable, and Chris just earned major respect from me."
But not everyone saw it that way.
A different group of fans came to Matt's defense, insisting that his choices with the farm were his to make. They argued that Chris overstepped by inserting himself into an issue that, at its core, should have been handled only by Matt and his children. Some even suggested that Chris's confrontation could cause more division, rather than helping resolve the years of tension. This backlash naturally raises questions about how Amy Roloff might feel about the exchange. For years, Amy has spoken openly about her frustrations with Matt, accusing him of steamrolling her opinions, rewriting history, and putting business above family. Hearing Chris stand up to Matt may feel like vindication for Amy, a moment where her husband echoed the very concerns she has voiced for so long. For fans who have supported Amy, this incident feels like proof that she wasn't exaggerating the difficulties she faced during her marriage. Zach and Tori's potential reaction is another intriguing piece of the puzzle. Zach, who has been estranged from Matt over the failed farm negotiations, might see Chris's confrontation as validation of his own feelings. Chris stepping in could even build a bridge between Zach and Amy's side of the family, strengthening bonds that have been fragile in recent years. For Tori, who has often acted as a peacemaker, this may feel like a small sign that someone is finally speaking truth to power within the Roloff circle. At the heart of this controversy lies a deeper issue. This is no longer just about farmland. The Roloff farm has become a symbol, representing loyalty, honesty, and legacy. The leaked confrontation between Chris and Matt forces everyone to reckon with what's truly at stake. Is it about preserving land for future generations? Or is it about protecting trust within a family that has lived under public scrutiny for nearly 2 decades? The fallout from this audio shows how raw the wounds still are. Fans are left asking, is this the beginning of long-awaited accountability, or just another chapter in a family drama that never seems to find closure? As the leaked audio continues to circulate, one of the biggest questions is how this will impact the Roloff family's future, both on and off camera. Family gatherings, once already strained, could become even more difficult. Imagine birthdays, weddings, or even casual get-togethers where Matt's presence might now feel like a source of tension rather than unity. If trust has truly been broken, will everyone even be willing to show up in the same room again? The future of Little People, Big World itself could also be in question. For years, the show has revolved around the farm and the family dynamics surrounding it. But with this new leak casting doubt on Matt's honesty, viewers may wonder whether they're seeing the real story or just a carefully managed version of it. TLC thrives on drama, but there's a fine line between entertaining tension and irreparable family damage. If the family refuses to reconcile, filming could become increasingly uncomfortable or even impossible. Matt's credibility appears to be at its lowest point. He has always painted himself as the visionary and the protector of the family legacy, but now those claims seem more like a cover for his own interests. Fans and family members alike are questioning whether his word carries any weight at all moving forward. This is not just about business decisions. It's about personal trust, which once lost, is incredibly hard to regain. On the other side of this story, Chris Marek's role may be quietly transforming. Long known as Amy's supportive and easygoing husband, Chris has often been seen as someone who avoids taking sides. But by calling Matt out directly, he has positioned himself as a truth-teller in the middle of the drama. His calm but firm stance could give him unexpected influence in family discussions. For Zach, Tori, and even Amy, Chris may now be viewed as a steady voice who finally held Matt accountable when no one else would. This all raises the biggest question of all. Is reconciliation even possible at this point? Or has this audio deepened the divide to a point where forgiveness is out of reach? Some fans believe that time can heal, but others argue that exposing dishonesty this openly creates wounds too deep to ever truly close. For the Roloffs, the farm was always supposed to be a symbol of unity and legacy, but today, it looks more like the very thing that could end their bond forever. At the end of the day, this leaked audio has shaken the Roloff family story in a way no one could have predicted. For decades, Roloff Farms has stood as a symbol of family unity, hard work, and dreams. But now, it's also the center of bitter conflict and fractured relationships. Chris stepping in and allegedly catching Matt in a possible light changes the dynamics entirely. For years, Chris has been seen as the quiet supporter in the background, but this moment places him directly in the middle of the Roloff family's most heated issue. It forces the family and fans to reconsider everything they thought they knew about loyalty, truth, and transparency within the Roloffs. The big question now is whether this confrontation will finally push the family toward long overdue honesty, or if it will deepen the wounds that already exist. The farm itself may just be land, but the real fight is about something far greater: trust, legacy, and the bonds that hold a family together. Fans are left waiting, watching, and wondering, can the Roloffs find their way back to one another, or has this audio sealed a divide that can't be repaired? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.